This year, a big focus is direct to consumer. We've said now that we believe we are a very well executing machine in our processes, in our capabilities, in our core part of our business. We need to think, okay, what is the future of consumer? Consumer wants our product always and everywhere. Omni-channel and mono-channel. Pricing tiers, premiumization, but also mass. So this extreme personalization at scale, this is what we will be laser focused this year to make sure that we drive that across the globe. Brazil is one of the markets that we want in 2024 to roll out both consumer data platform, CDP, and our loyalty rewards program. And we are very excited because this is where the future of CPG will drive much more consumer adoption, but also better experience for everyone across the board.
So talking about D2C and all these e-commerce operations, we know that like typical CPG, consumer good company is behind
Yes.
compared with other industries. So what is the importance of the e-commerce for PepsiCo right now? I don't know if you can disclose the share of the e-commerce in your sellout today. And inside this e-commerce sellout, how much is like a direct operation from PepsiCo and how much is third-party operation like for Amazons and Walmarts? And elaborate a little bit about your e-commerce strategy and how you are driving and how important it is for the company for today and for the near future.
Yeah, as you mentioned very well, for CPGs, e-commerce historically has been digital commerce, but B2B.
Yeah.
Right? Is how do I pass my project through the grocery retailers, through the Walmart Plus, the Krogers, the Carrefours, etc., through Amazon or through the aggregators, the Instacarts, the Uber Eats, etc. So this has been a booming business through COVID. It really has stabilized, I would say, in the past year.
Coming back or stabilized in the same level?
No. I think it's still growing, but it doesn't grow
the same pace.
in the same pace like before. Anyone who tells you that that part of the business is growing like, 200%, like it was during
That's
COVID, they're like,
outlier.
no, it's an outlier. No, we are growing healthy, even double digits, I would say, depending on the geography. But I would say in the geographies where we have reached the maturity, it's single-digit growth. I mean, quarter to quarter, right? When I say direct to consumer, I'm not talking about the e-commerce because this is a very big for our business. It's growing, we need it, and it's something that with our retailers, we keep on investing. I'm talking direct delivery to our consumers. We are in the beginning of the journey. So
you mean your own e-commerce operation?
Yeah, our own e-commerce operations. We have pockets of markets where we actually wanted to test first at scale to see, okay, what is the consumer perception? China, as an example. Consumers needed it, they wanted it, there was no option.
Almost 50% of commerce in China is e-commerce. So
exactly.
It's not an option there.
Exactly. There is not an option. So we had to participate. We actually did an acquisition, B&Cherry. It's a portfolio of businesses that we have only that goes direct to consumer. And then we've had some other markets which are emerging markets as well, but we thought it was right for direct to consumer, such as Turkey, which is big emerging market, very young population, want to experiment also with direct delivery. And there we have been live and with a high degree of penetration, we have approximately 70 million active consumers in our platform at scale.
In Turkey?
In Turkey. What you will, in the US, we are much more fragmented between our Gatorade portfolio, our beverages portfolio, our foods portfolio. So now, for the first time, we're bringing all the portfolio together.
In one place?
In one place. So what we call power of one of PepsiCo. And this is going to be a game changer because if you were to think our consumer, why would they come directly to PepsiCo? It's because they want to see the breadth of all the assortment.
Yeah.
You cannot go to any store and find everything we have to offer.
Yeah.
You cannot go to any e-commerce platform and find everything we have to offer. If you go to our site, if you go through our loyalty rewards platform, you will find every single product in the core version, but also the personalized version. That's our vision of creating what we call our PepsiCo marketplace. And this is also what we want to do in markets like Brazil, where our consumers, if they want and they find there is convenience, if there is personalization, if there are moments that matter through the direct-to-consumer, they can go to our own platforms, which is important for us, incremental to what we do with our customers. Our intent is not to clash with our customers, actually to provide incrementality and drive more category growth. Because you know very well, if we drive category growth, everyone grows.
Yeah. It's not a competition.
It's not a competition at all.
Yeah, and it's a choice of the consumer.
Of course.
They can choose the platform that they want to buy.
Exactly. And consumers want to engage in every platform. And especially generations, they dictate it.
Yeah,
They choose, yes.
So you mentioned very briefly the loyalty program, and we know that like most of the CPG's issues is they don't have data from customers.
Yeah.
So like they sell through channels, through partners, and they have just little information, just aggregating information.
Yeah.
So they don't know who are
Right.
buying, what is their habits. How PepsiCo is attacking this issue of like lacking of consumer data, and how you guys are building your all data platform and incentivize the consumer that like to buy a package of potato fries or a beverage to give the data for you.
Yeah.
What you are giving back to get this data, and what we are doing with this data.
Yeah. A couple of things. First of all, first assumption is everyone is to opt in. Even in the markets that we don't have GDPR, this is a prerequisite for us. The second thing, as I told you, we are in the journey. So we are now rolling out globally CDP.
Okay.
Every market will have CDP. So that
So just explain to our audience what is a CDP.
For sure. CDP is a consumer data platform. So the same way that you would think of a data lake for all the enterprise data, this is the data lake for consumer data. So every first-party data that will come from the consumers and also qualitative data from surveys or external would
To understand
land,
better the consumer.
exactly, would land in the consumer data platform, which then that will feed into any application that will do direct engagement with the consumer. So we are rolling out CDP everywhere in the organization. That is the one way of us capturing data from the consumers from all the channels. I give you an example. People think you have to capture only through a loyalty rewards platform. We are the biggest sponsor of sports events in the world, by far. If you were to think of World Cup, which I know Brazilians are, slightly bitter, of course, but very big fans of football. We are sponsors with all our foods portfolio, Lay's. If you were to think in every Lay's package when it was the World Cup, there were QR codes, we did the Web3, we had gamification. Through that, you were able to put your consumer information, you were gaining points, you were gaining tickets, you were gaining vouchers. You opted in, we captured consumer information.
And Athina, do you have like a PepsiCo ID to deduplicate? Because like when you have multiple touch points, like you mentioned, the issue that I see a lot of companies suffering is how to understand and how to deduplicate to have a unique view of this is the same person that come to the sports event, the same one that in my loyalty program. Deduplicate is not easy.
Yeah, no, totally. And I'm pretty sure we are not 100% accurate, right? So
nobody thinks.
Yeah. So what we are trying to do is actually triangulation of the information to ensure based on the multiple signals we are getting, we have created what we call an ontology, a knowledge graph for each of the PEP IDs. So we are triangulating the information that comes from all the channels, and that will give us a unique PEP ID for the individual to give us comfort that this is a unique consumer.
Okay.
Right? Now, in the cases, of course, a consumer self-identifies, it's very easy. But in many cases, the consumer just puts the basic information, doesn't want to self-identify after that. So that is definitely one methodology that we have applied.
And another question, are you already using this information on your CDP to activate the consumer? Because I think the next phase is your marketing agencies, your media agencies, understand the people that have like affinity with Lay's, for example, when they are create a campaign on Facebook, on LinkedIn or whatever, they use this data. I don't see many companies already there, like using the loop back of the data collected to create our audiences on the digital marketing platforms.
Yeah, you will see in January, we will do exactly that, go live in Mexico.
Okay.
So we have our Joy platform. Our Joy platform is a closed loop ecosystem it connects with our CDP, and actually it connects back also to our enterprise platform. So therefore, we can take data that also see transactional data from our systems. Then it has the loyalty rewards component. It activates through all the channels, of course, through the digital channels, and then it loops back the information, connecting with the marketing cloud for activation to be able to understand better all the consumer campaigns. So I would say in Latin America, Mexico will be the first market that we will go live in January. January, February, we have the Super Bowl campaign, so we are also very careful on what is the timing without disturbing that campaign. In the US, we are more mature in doing that with our Gatorade ecosystem. If you want to think of sports and hydration, and what is the experience of connecting, have you seen the G-Pads from Gatorade? Then the bottle that has the QR code, then the powders that you can scan and get information of the ingredients. That ecosystem is connected, and we are creating the ability, in that case, the audience is the athletes, to increase performance. And now colleges have been using it, the coaches and the colleges for the teams, and of course professional teams in NFL, NBA, etc., etc. So we have some great pockets of excellence. We haven't rolled out globally those capabilities. We are in the middle, and we have a lot of work to do. Trust me. I think this ecosystem, as you know very well, it gets more complex with regulation.
It takes time.
Privacy rules takes time. I mean, I'm sure we will have some failures as part of that and some setbacks, but we are committed.
I have a question regarding measurement. We know that it's a number one issue of most of the CMOs today, with pressure coming from the CFO. That is like, how I know that there is a direct correlation between my dollars invested in marketing, advertising, and the sellout. And there is a lot of methodologies out there. Most of the methodologies people are still skeptical outside the marketing organization about, I don't know, because it's very hard to isolate variables. There's a lot of variables that can affect sales, and it's hard. How PepsiCo is attacking the solution for measurement?
Yeah, as you said, it's the holy grail to decouple the effect of what comes from trade initiatives versus marketing initiatives. So, I mean, let's just say that up front, so people will not say we have the magic wand and we have figured out. But what we are doing, and I'm pretty sure other CPGs have been doing it, it just, we feel it's highly working for us right now. One is we do multi-channel attribution. So we're able to, or we are trying to at least, is trying to understand household impact on every campaign that we are doing, and whatever possible individual impact. And there are various techniques that you can apply, ML techniques, to be able to isolate those effects, especially the effects, to your point, that are internal parameters that you influence, but not necessarily you can combine easily with sellout data. You can combine much more with selling data versus external parameters or ecosystem data that you get across the ecosystem. So that approach makes sure that directionally you know the impact and the range of the impact. So can justify, I would say, basic investments for sure. Then we do what we call the next-gen MROI analysis. So breaking down all the marketing levers across all the decomposition, linking that to brands, sub-brands, and categories. So trying to understand isolated what should be the cross-marketing effects and how within the investment that we have, we can optimize that investment. The holy grail is how do you optimize across trade and marketing. So, because typically, sales says, no, the contribution has come from me. Marketing said, no, the contribution has come from me. So we are now, we have started the journey. I think the journey has allowed us to decompose the investments at its totality, able to understand the basic levers and forecast what the demand would be based on the basic levers. And now we are in the, I would say, third phase of evolution when it comes to the sales and trade decomposition down to the brand level, to be able to assess, to your point, very religiously that every dollar that we spend in every single, I would call loosely marketing initiative, not just a traditional digital marketing initiative, gives us the incrementality. Gross ROI and net ROI you can measure. I have zero issue to say we are very good at that. Incremental ROI is what is the problem of the marketeer, because incremental ROI can be affected by multiple parameters at the same time. And because the cycle of innovation, when you roll it out in commercialization, is shorter and shorter, then the attribution becomes trickier.
Yeah, totally agree with you. It's not an easy
It's
solution.
not easy.
So to summarize here, I'd like to ask a question. After your journey, 3 years, correct?
Yeah.
3 years?
Yeah, almost 3.5 now. Yeah.
What is your main lessons? If there is somebody listening to us right now, watching to us right now, there is a starting the same journey in another CPG. What is the 3 lessons that you would like to listen when we start at PepsiCo that it will be very valuable for you?
Yeah, number one, be persistent. It's not going to be easy. I can vouch for that. And there will be moments that we say, "Oh my God, why did I?"
Resilience.
Yeah. Persistence and resilience. I think it's both at the same time. What you have put forward as the digital strategy, you need to stay focused because there will be a lot of derailers.
A lot of distractions.
A lot of distractions across the company. My journey, my commitment to the board is 5 years. Hasn't changed. I have financial targets, they haven't changed, no matter what is happening in the broader ecosystem. Yeah, if I have the bandwidth, I can accommodate more staff, but my mission is very clear. So one is make sure that you stay focused. Number 2 is talent is important. You cannot rely on external talent all the time. You have to find the ecosystem to be able to help you deliver. You need your partners, but you need also your own teams. You need people that understand how to change, but also people that understand how to perform the business. So you need this kind of hybrid teams to help you deliver. You cannot do it on your own, but you cannot also outsource the capability. And I was
for the teams, you mean reskilling the team, hire new people? Both.
I did 50-50.
Okay.
Actually, I took people from internal because they knew the process. So it was important for me to have solid background of the organization, where even though they might have, in the beginning, they weren't the highest end technologists, that's fine. We upskilled it, and I also got fresh blood from external. Okay. So my mix of the team is 50-50 internal, 50 external. Right. And of course, I have my also partners, agencies, and other consulting companies that help in the journey. And I would say the last advice, don't underestimate the importance of culture change and broader change management. We kept, and we were so persistent, training, webinars, learning. We created a digital academy for everyone to be upskilled, reskilled, and create a knowledge management system. We went back to the same people, we did training, because people reach a curve, a learning curve, but if you let them, then it goes down, and then it goes up, and then, so till you've reached...
It's not linear.
It's not linear, no. So you need to reach an inflection point where you know it's going to be flat.
Yeah.
And that comes at least after 2.5 years of continuous learning and change.
So it's a long run.
It's a long run.
Don't expect it to be a sprint.
Definitely a marathon.
Yeah.
Not too much of a long of a marathon, but still a marathon.
So thank you a lot.
So much. Thank you so much.